an escrow company or an attorney to sign documentation, what do you tell the client to prepare for when you're doing that?
That is going to be a long day. Get their signature hand ready, because there's going to be a lot of wet signatures, and they all need to be original. They all need to be wet signed. Just to let them know, to go in with the right mindset, that it might be tedious. However, it's worth it, because at the end of the day, it's something that we need to happen, something that needs to be done.
You about to get the keys, Jack?
About to get the keys.
Right. Good afternoon. This is Anthony Glenn checking in with the Sitrep podcast, where we help you win in real estate. And today we're talking about the last week of the home buying process. And today I have no other than Carlos Zuniga.
What up?
United States Marine Corps commanding.
What's up, Jack?
Hey, welcome aboard, brother. All right, so my man Carlos Zuniga has been with us for a little bit of time, and today we're talking about some do's and do nots. Some do's and do nots, things to do during that last week of the home buying process. We kind of gotta unpack that. We got a couple of things that you might want to look at when you're doing and purchasing a property with your VA home loan entitlement. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Okay, so now we got that clear to close. The loan is closed. Let's talk about that last and final contingency. What exactly does that mean?
That pretty much means that the loan officer, the lender, is thumbs up that the file is good to fund. And we need that.
Okay, why do we need it?
Because the house needs to be paid for. That's what it comes down to.
It's just that simple, right?
It's that simple.
So the lender basically gives that clear to close. That means all of the conditions and all the administrative stuff is met. Mm-hmm. And then that means that you can get who gets that final loan contingency, who has to sign it, and where does it go to?
So it goes from the lender to underwriter, and everything gives you the thumbs up. They reply back to each other. They forward that to escrow. Escrow gives everybody the thumbs up, buyer and seller, to let everybody know that the loan is good.
Okay, so basically, it's basically like an administrative thing. So it's like a roadblock, right? So once you pass that roadblock, that lender lets the buyer's agent know that the contingency is good to go, mm-hmm. and they're clear to close. And then the buyer's agent will send that to the listing agent, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So now that we're clear to close, what are some of the things, let's talk about after the loan contingency gets done from a real estate professional side, what does the real estate professional do from there?
So very simple. One main important one is the verification of property. The verification of property simply is you go to the property, you annotate everything that was supposed to be there, such as refrigerator, washer, dryer. If it was in the contract, then those same items need to be there. So prime example, if you're walking, before you submit the loan or the offer, you're walking through and there's a Samsung fridge. But when you're doing your verification property, someone switches that out to like $100 fridge that we get in the barracks. No? So obviously that's a red flag, and the agent needs to let everyone know that there's a red flag. So that way you're doing what's right for your buyers or your clients.
Okay. So, and then you do a walkthrough, and then you're basically looking at the repairs also, yep. Correct? So tell us about the repair request and the verification of a property condition. How do you, as a real estate professional, verify that?
It's very simple. So one, we go to see the property in person. We visually see it. And two, we ask for receipts that the other party has hired someone to professionally do a big item like, a brand new heating or AC.
Oh, that's good. So that makes sense, though. So you, as a real estate professional, you're not a licensed contractor. Correct. So you're not going to be going up in the attic looking at the AC unit, right?
Correct.
You want the receipts from the professionals, and then also if it's drywall holes, you're not. It's basically the rule of thumb of the professional, right?
It's very common sense. Obviously, we need a contractor who is professionally to do something that they have a trade in. I'm not a licensed professional as a contractor, so I don't know what needs to be done for an AC unit.
Right.
But if we ask for a receipt that individual completed it and whatnot, then obviously that holds weight.
That completely makes sense. So now, there's a couple of do's and do nots, right? Let's get back into that. So we talked about the verification of property condition. We talked about the loan contingency removal and who's responsible for that. Now let's discuss some of the common things that you see as a real estate professionals that most agents overlook, like what's not in the property. What are some of the things that agents usually overlook that get transferred when a new buyer comes into the property?
It's very simple. And the most common thing that gets overlooked are keys. Keys.
Something that simple?
It's something that simple, bro. So keys to the house, keys to the common areas, keys, like for example, if it has a pool, we need the keys for that. Obviously, mailboxes, certain homes come with a secured box, so we need keys for that. So anything that you're trying to make your buyer's life easier for you to just literally present it to them, vice them having to go to the post office, asking for a brand new key to be made, and things like that.
And that's a good one. And for safety purposes, also, we also refer people to, after you get into the property, you get your stuff, you obviously want to change all of your locks and stuff like that. So key transfer, mailbox key transfer. Now, during the loan process, if they haven't signed, right, what does the buyer do next? So they have to meet with usually either an escrow company or an attorney to sign documentation. What do you tell the client to prepare for when you're doing that?
That is going to be a long day. Get their signature hand ready, because there's going to be a lot of wet signatures, and they all need to be original. They all need to be wet signed, just to let them know to go in with the right mindset that it might be tedious. However, it's worth it, because at the end of the day, it's something that we need to happen, something that needs to be done.
You about to get the keys, Jack.
You're about to get the keys.
Right. So, and this is usually it's an easy week, so most stuff is pretty much done. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because all of those little tedious things, like a HOA key, could cost a lot of money, y'all. So you definitely want to make sure that they have that information. And I also want to transition into something that is very, very, very important. Make sure you guys write this down. There are 6 essential things that typically go wrong with properties when you move in. But usually, in most cases, the agent will be doing a home warranty. Can you talk about that?
Sure. So the home warranty, usually what I like to do is put in the contract for the sellers to pay for the home warranty. So that way, my client has a peace of mind that the house is coming with a year or 2 of home warranty of protection for all those big items.
And what are those big items?
So obviously, you and I are Marines. So we created a ditty. Well, I created a ditty, and it just makes sense to me. So the ditty is very simple. Pretty huge fear.
Pretty huge fear. Yeah. What the hell is that?
So to me, and I made it super, super simple and easy, it means plumbing, heating, foundation, electrical, air, and roof.
That makes sense. Plumbing,
pretty huge fear.
Pretty huge fear. Plumbing,
because
air, electrical, foundation, roof.
Key items can be very, very expensive.
And typically the home warranty will give a little bit. You call the home warranty department, and then you tell them what the issue is, and then they'll basically have. Now, sometimes there is a cost to that when you're doing the home warranty situation, but in most cases they'll charge a come out fee, and then they'll come in and fix everything that's wrong with the property, right?
Correct, because it's usually a small fraction compared to what the overall price might be.
That's pretty good, man. So I have one more question for you. Now, once clients get their keys, what advice do you give first-time home buyers to look out for? Because I know they get a lot of mail and stuff like that. Do you just let the client go and they get their keys, or do you stay in contact with them? What do you tell them? What advice do you give them?
So pretty much I follow up with them. We become, really good friends, because obviously I've helped them purchase something huge, a huge investment. So I maintain contact with them. I maintain a good working relationship with them, because I want to know how the house is going, how the community is growing, what the overall situation of their house is, because I helped them get into that house. So I want to see the product of what I helped create.
And then a lot of times people will be calling to put solar and water softeners. What would you tell people to do that? Call you, right? Okay. And this is something that a lot of people do. They get a lot of information in the mail to do certain things with their property. Call your real estate professional and make sure that you're not getting yourself in a situation, because this is a really big one. Solar panels sound good, but Carlos, can you tell us what happens when clients put solar panels? What have you seen from your expertise with being in the real estate industry and selling a whole bunch of homes? what mistakes have people been making in regard to putting solar on properties and transferring it to the new buyer?
So somebody comes, knocks at the door, and they're like, "Oh, solar panels for nothing." And there's always a catch. There's always a catch. So make sure you read the fine print, because they can easily put a lien on your house. They can easily put you on payments. They can put you on some kind of tracker for them to obtain all the tax credit, and you're stuck on a contract. That contract, you can't get out of it. So again, be very, very careful. Read the fine print when you're about to commit yourself to any kind of lease that is pertaining to your house.
And that's good, because see, and let's draw a visual, and I want to unpack that really quick before we go ahead and shut down the podcast. So typically, when you put let's just go a red, yellow, and green. Okay, green light is go, yellow is yield, and then red is actually stop. So first place is green, second place is yellow, and third place is red. When a new person comes in, they're going to be in third position, because the first and second position will be the loan. The loan is the first position. The solar is the second position in regard to financing, right? So when that new person comes in, they're in red. So they have to go, if there was a default on the loan or anything like that, what that basically means is that they're going to pay off the first and second position. So lenders don't like to be in third position. They want to be in the first position. So you have to remove that solar lien, which means that you either have to transfer it to the new person or you have to pay it.
Yep, in full.
Pay it in full. So that means you put $20,000 of solar on your property, you just ate up $20,000 of equity in your property.
Yep.
And you also don't get tax credits for solar either if you are not doing a purchase agreement. So you have to make sure that you read the fine print. Man, you got those keys? Make sure that you stay in contact with the real estate professional. Any save rounds for the Sitrep podcast? Anything you want to say before you leave?
So this happened on a few loans before. So from experience, please do not open any new credit cards, any new kind of loans, anything while you're in that last week, please, because that might throw a wrench into the whole thing.
I'm glad that you said that. And usually I'm going to tell y'all something. The loans that most people get while they're doing the finance process is, for some reason, people like to buy new cars when they get in a new house. Or furniture. They go to, Ashley Furniture, and they get that llama cover couch that they always wanted. And they put
for $8,000.
For $8,000. And now your debt to income ratio is all messed up. So just eat bread and water when you guys are purchasing a property until you actually get keys. All right, man, this is a good podcast. Carlos, I'm glad that you came on.
I appreciate it, brother.
Really, really appreciate you. How can the Sitrep podcast fans reach you?
So through the podcast, obviously, and or through Instagram, Carlos_Zuniga_Jr.
Outstanding. And you can reach me at wire10k.com, where we help you win in real estate. Hey, brother, Semper Fi, and cheers.